There we go. Good deal. Well, we are now joined by William Byron in advance of this weekend's action at Circuit of the Americas. And William, we're going to go right into questions. Our first question is going to come from Jason Brown. Go ahead with the question, Jason.
Thank you, Matt. Hey, William, good to see you. I know you're going to get into how you've been preparing for this weekend's race at a new venue. I am curious, though, when you've talked all year about becoming a consistent top 5 car week in, week out, and where you stand right now in the point standings, I'm wondering, does that help, I guess, ease your mind a little bit as you go into an unknown? I understand there's going to be practice, but the fact that where you stand right now, God forbid something bad happens on the weekend, does that help you a little bit from a cushion standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just kind of go in with not as much focus. Like, we don't dwell on the result of the race weekend quite as much. We find a way to move on and get past it. So, yeah, I mean, but we approach the race just like any other race. Prepare the same, have the same nerves, excitement, all the feelings that you have when you go into a race. So yeah, it doesn't really change for us, but yeah, I feel like COTA is a great opportunity. It's a track that, the only thing is we don't go back to any other time of the year. So it's not important in that aspect, but it is important because we have a road course in the playoffs with COTA. I mean, with the Charlotte Roval. So I feel like that's, it's important to make sure that I'm making progress on the road courses and that our car is good on the road courses. So that part is something that we'll take from this weekend.
And then, so no matter, I guess, if you do finish really well, does that sort of like prove that everything you guys continue to do doesn't matter, the type of track that you're going to, that that just shows that you have reached that level of consistency you're searching for?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the good teams in this sport are usually running up front every week. So, I mean, we're trying to be one of those. I feel like we've excelled at a variety of tracks, but this is another one that we can try to check off the list. And we desperately want to win another race. So, we need the points for the playoffs and all those good things. So, I want to win just as bad this weekend as I do on an oval, and feel like I've been close on road courses. Feel like I've got a lot of great support from Max Pappas and a lot of people that have helped me along the way to get better at road courses. And that's kind of what I'm focused on, is trying to win my first road course race.
Thanks, William.
Mm-hmm. Our next question is going to come from Bob Pockers. Go ahead with the question, Bob.
Yeah, William, obviously Hendrick is one win away from tying the record of Petty's as far as number of Cup wins. And I'm curious what you thought the 1, 2, 3, 4 finish the other day says about the organization in light of that. Like, what about that finish epitomizes why Hendrick is one win away from Petty's?
Well, I think it's just the variety of decades, the variety of rules packages, driver changes, crew chief changes, and they've always found a way to win. We definitely went through a struggling time period where, it was really hard just to finish in the top 10, and we've climbed ourselves out of that hole. We've crawled and worked really hard to get out of that hole, and now we're kind of back to, I feel like where we should be. So it's impressive, all the work that's gone on in the last 2 or 3 years to get back to being a consistent, race threat to win. So it's going in the right direction for sure, and we just have to keep it going. But it definitely shows the belief that Mr. H has in all of us, and the fact that through all those different decades of racing, they can still win races at a high level.
Was there anything in the last couple of years, as you're trying to dig yourselves out of a hole, that said to you, yeah, this is why they've won 250, 260 Cup races?
I think just the level of professionalism and detail. I feel like we don't typically make the small mistakes that that happen in racing. I feel like we execute well, we work well together. Those things have kind of carried us through the tough times to be able to maximize our days and finish 10th if we can, finish there. So it's all about kind of, the evolution, and now we've got the speed on our side, and we've got the teamwork that it takes to get all 4 of us up front.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Our next question is going to come from Anton Hareskev. Go ahead with the question, Anton.
Thanks, Matt. Good afternoon, William. So COTA is a brand new track on the NASCAR schedule. In what way do you expect it to be different from any other road course you've been to?
Well, I mean, it's way longer to begin with. It's going to take a really long time to make one lap. So we're kind of nervous about, practice and how that's going to go and how many laps you're going to get legitimately. That's going to be tough. I feel like, there's not a lot of walls there. So there's a lot of runoff, which is probably a good thing for our cars because we usually run into each other a lot on road courses, and usually guys make big mistakes. So hopefully I'm not one of those that's making a big mistake, but at least if I do at COTA, I feel like I can get away with it, which is nice. Typically if there's a lot of grass around the racetrack for us, that doesn't work well for our cars. And, this is one of those tracks where there's just a lot of asphalt where you can run off. So that might make it a more aggressive race, maybe, knowing that you can get away with it. But for me, I feel like it's just like every other road course. You got to figure out how to get in and off the corners, and same old things. Be good at shifting, downshifting, all those things.
Thank you. Wishing you all the best for this weekend.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Cole Cusimano. Go ahead with the question, Cole.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for your time today, William. Congrats on a tremendous run. I would assume you guys are thrilled with 11 straight top 10s, but when do you start to get a little antsy in turning those into wins? And I guess maybe what's the next step in doing so?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, anytime you're, it sucked to be 4th of 4 this week, but I think that we're performing really well. I'd say the last run of the race was probably our worst run, which wasn't great, but I think we've had the speed to win. I mean, we had the start of the race at Dover was phenomenal, and unfortunately we had kind of a brake issue that kind of hindered us. But I think we're showing up with really good speed. We just have to put it all together, build our notebook. I feel like we've got to be somewhat patient because it's the first time that Rudy and I are going to these tracks together, and we don't exactly know what the track's going to do at the end of the race. Where maybe our teammates have been there a couple times together with each other. So I think we're getting really close. It's just a matter of a couple little things going our way.
Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Our next question is going to come from Marty Sakala. Go ahead with the question, Marty.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, William. Thanks for the time. Jealous of the apartment view, by the way. So want to start things off with Dover last week. I'm curious with the 1, 2, 3, 4 performance by Hendrick Motorsports. How much has, Chad Knaus as competition director now really revamped or stepped up his role into making this team just really good this season?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job of kind of getting us all, working together and getting us all competitive cars at the same time. A lot of organizations, it's easy to, give one guy something one week and then roll it out for the other guys. But for us, I feel like Chad is doing a great job of kind of, giving us all the same opportunity, which is awesome. And that's all you can ask for as a driver. And I think it's showing with the cars that we have and with the competitiveness of the 4 of us. So I'm excited for it. I think he fits that role really well. He's kind of a floor general type guy, and he fits that role.
And second off, looking into this weekend, I know tonight you guys got the iRacing event. Curious how much that could be to figure out like the braking zones when you enter your first practice session this weekend.
I mean, I think honestly, there's been so much other prep this week for this race, and honestly back to January if you want to go back that far for preparation for COTA. So honestly don't feel like there's going to be much on iRacing tonight that hasn't already been learned, but I'm sure it'll be fun.
Just want to make sure real quick, you guys are using the current gen cars tonight, right? Or next gen?
I think current gen.
Okay. All right. Thank you, man. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Ashley McCubbin. Go ahead with the question, Ashley.
Hey, William, thanks for your time today. You've always been a big component of iRacing and what it can do for a driver. So knowing that COTA is a new track for everybody this weekend, how big is that experience on iRacing going to translate over?
Yeah, I mean, like I was just saying, I feel like, we've done a lot of prep already. iRacing is a great platform, and I use it for a lot of different tracks, so it's a constant thing that I use every week. But yeah, I think for COTA and specifically, we've had a lot of access to sim time, and we've done some other various things to get ready. So I feel like this is one of the weeks that I won't use it as much, but I think that when it comes to a lot of the tracks, I usually try to use it as a refresher or something like that.
And how different will it be going into this weekend with practice and qualifying? And are you a fan of having practice and qualifying most weeks, or would you like to see things the way that they've been with a lack of practice and qualifying?
I think it'll be different this week with practice. I feel like we're going to have to get back used to the methods and the way that we, check the splitter, check the air pressures, check our tire builds, all those things that you do a couple years ago. We had practice at Bristol, but that wasn't really the same because, we were changing, inches at a time to try to get the car correct. So my opinion is that, I don't think we need practice at a lot of these racetracks. I think there's certain racetracks that we do, whether we're going to it for the first time or we have the new car coming along. But we just, the drivers and teams are at this level, for a reason, and it's because we can adapt quickly. So I feel like we put on a much better race when we have less practice.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Zach Albert. Go ahead with the question, Zach.
Thanks, Matt. William, I was wondering, with 20 turns, have you memorized them all by number to where you can refer to them quickly and tell Rudy, hey, I'm doing great in turn 17 or wherever it is or whatever you need? Yeah. Are you going to have like a chart in the car that's going to kind of help you to refer to those?
I'll definitely have a chart in the car. The funny thing is when we've been in the sim together and Rudy and I have been talking, I've referred to a lot of corners as that corner over there by the backstretch. So it's or that corner over there with the double corner. So I don't know. It's going to be a lot of guessing, but I think he'll get the gist from what I'm saying. He's usually pretty good at picking up what I'm saying. But yeah, as long as we can, get through turn one and talk about that one, and I think that one's a pretty important one too. So I at least know 1 through 4. I'm used to that.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Our final question is going to come from Tucker White. Go ahead with your question, Tucker.
William, a big topic of conversation amongst the IndyCar community during its most recent race at Texas Motor Speedway was the use of PJ1 at Texas. Graham Rahal himself said that it was like racing and walking on ice. How does that compare to your experience racing on it at Texas?
Yeah, I think that stuff just requires a lot of heat and activation. I feel personally like we were, I feel like it's fine without it, but we're kind of down the path now where it's too late to get it off the track. Even without it being applied to the racetrack, there's still the stain of the racetrack, and that darkness creates a different grip level just with the way the sunlight hits it. So yeah, it's too far down the path to change, but yeah, I think it's as a race car driver, you just try to adapt and use it how you need to.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have one additional question. Wait a minute, it's from Lee Spencer. Go ahead with the question, Lee.
Appreciate your time, William. Just curious, could you have ever imagined yourself being in a position with this top 10 streak that you and Rudy have amassed?
No, I think our goal going into this year was to be a really well executed race team that could run competitively at a variety of tracks. I think that my kind of thing that I thought about throughout the off season was just trying to be part of that group that's a consistent contender every week. Those 5 to 6 guys that consistently run up front, and we've done that so far. So we've kind of checked the box on that. We just have to kind of establish new goals. I feel like there's some little details that we could do better, whether that's pit road or just working on different things. So I feel like there's some things that still, we can work on, but we're definitely kind of having to reset our goals because we've, the team's done a great job and Rudy's done a great job of coming in. And, Rudy and I feel like we've worked well because we really do a good job of preparing and nailing the balance of the car to start the race and things like that, that once you get that, it definitely kind of propels you into that top 5 more often.
And real quick, a lot of people point to Chad Knaus and his role as like helicopter parent, overseeing everybody at this point.
Yeah.
As to one of the reasons Hendrick Motorsports has picked up so much. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think, Chad's just given us all the same opportunity to go out there and run well. It's like you see at a lot of organizations, it's easy to focus on one guy, whether that's consciously or subconsciously, but it's easy to kind of say, okay, this guy's running well. Let's make sure that we're, giving him what we need to win. And not that the other guys aren't, it's just that's the ebb and the flow of the sport is, if you're running out front every week, you're wanting different things in your race car than you're running 10th and trying to just, finish in the top 10. So I think honestly, that's what I've noticed is just his willingness just to get everyone up to the same, and kind of get everyone raising their game. So he really focuses on, if you have a bad weekend, he's really focused on trying to make it better. And that's something that I really admire.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for taking the time to join us, William. Good luck tonight and good luck this weekend at the Circuit of the Americas. Hey,
Awesome.
Jack, can you hear us?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I got you.
Outstanding. We are now joined by Jack Wood, who's getting ready to make his NASCAR Camping World Truck Series debut at the Circuit of the Americas this weekend. How excited are you about getting down to Austin and getting behind the wheel of that GMS Chevrolet?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I'm extremely excited. It's probably the coolest racetrack in our country, I think for sure, and especially going to a place that Formula One races is going to be pretty cool. But yeah, definitely very excited.
Outstanding. We're going to open the floor up for questions. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. We're going to start with Cole Cusimano. Go ahead with your question, Cole.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for your time today, Jack. Does it alleviate any stress or pressure in making your truck debut at a track like COTA where no one else has raced yet? And do you have any, expectations going in?
Yeah, I think for me, it's like everybody's kind of in the same boat with this being a new racetrack to everybody. But I think people do have a little bit of a foot up on me just because they've been in trucks before, but I haven't. But everyone's gonna, my first lap on the racetrack is gonna be everybody else's first lap on the racetrack. And then on the expectation side of things, I think my biggest goal is just going to be to run every lap and try to learn as much as I can. And especially with the forecast looking the way it is, it's definitely going to mix things up a little bit for me. So it's going to be a tough race for sure. But, my biggest thing is just going to be to run all the laps and learn as much as I can. And if by the end of the thing, if we have some speed, then, go see what we can do with it.
Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah. Thank you.
Our next question will come from Marty Sakala. Go ahead with your question, Marty.
Thanks, Matt. Jack, thanks for the time, man. Cole kind of took my question, but kind of maybe as a little bit of a follow-up. Do you happen to have any prior road course experience coming into the weekend, or has it been strictly all ovals?
For the most part, all ovals. I raced go-karts when I was younger, but, never really in road course stuff in stock cars. I ran Sonoma in a K&N West car, I think in 2018 or 2019 maybe. But that's about it. So it'll be all new experience for me.
Okay. Any prep work you've done to get ready for this weekend?
Yeah. A ton of iRacing. I can't even tell you how many laps I've ran on COTA, in different cars. A lot of time in the go-karts at GoPro with Josh Wise, and the driver's edge development program. And then also, I'm going to start getting time on the Chevy sim after I end this Zoom call. So it's going to be there's a lot of preparation going into it. So I think I have a lot of confidence going into this weekend.
Okay. Thank you, Jack. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah. Thank you.
Our next question will come from Ashley McCubbin. Go ahead with your question, Ashley.
Hey, Jack, we know you're making your debut this weekend, but is there going to be a chance for you to get behind the wheel of the truck once again later on this season? Or what do you know about as far as your schedule is concerned?
Yeah, as of right now, the only other race that I know that we have on our schedule is maybe Charlotte the weekend after. So, as of right now on the truck side of things, it's just COTA and Charlotte.
And then you mentioned it, the simulation time that you've been able to get. How has that gone so far in trying to figure out the COTA track so that way you can be prepared for this weekend coming?
Yeah, I haven't had any time on the Chevy Sim yet. I get time on that today for about 5 hours, but I've done a lot of time on iRacing. It's hard to tell. It's going to be hard for everybody to tell, if their tire model and their grip level they have on iRacing is going to be accurate to what we're going to have in real life. But, I think the biggest thing for me is just being able to get on there and run laps and learn the racetrack and understand the different angles that you have to take. But, really for me, I feel like iRacing is more of a visual thing than is a feel thing. But it's just, every opportunity you get to technically be on the racetrack, whether it's in real life or virtual, is going to help at the end of the day.
Thanks for your time.
Yep. Thank you.
And Jack, you're from California. So, who are your influences as a race car driver and kind of your idols as you're embarking on your NASCAR career here?
Yeah. I would say, I don't know how often you guys hear this answer. It's probably often, but I would say probably Jimmy. I think he, I said this on my ARCA call at the beginning of the year, but he, winning one championship and winning one race is hard enough, but to do it 7 times is, a whole different feat on its own. So, I think the way that he approaches being a race car driver is something that, a lot of guys have learned from over the years. And it's definitely something that I am hoping to model myself as after.
Good deal. Well, best of luck in your debut at the Circuit of the Americas and next week at Charlotte. We look forward to seeing the truck.
All righty. Thank you.
Good deal now.